Hello everyone, welcome to day 21 of Prelims Warm-Up. This initiative has been brought to you by Aptiplus Academy for Civil Services, and in this initiative we are looking at the important topics for the upcoming UPSC Prelims 2020. My name is Shayak Datta and I am the faculty for Geography and Environment at Aptiplus Academy for Civil Services. So let us start with the first question for today. The first question is, consider the following statements with respect to India-Saudi Arabia bilateral relations. So the first question is with respect to India-Saudi Arabia bilateral relations. The first statement given under this is, recently, India-Saudi Strategic Partnership Council was formed, which will be led by the leaderships of both the countries. That is the first statement. The second statement is, India is the largest trading partner of Saudi Arabia and the largest market for Saudi exports. So India is the largest trading partner of Saudi Arabia and the largest market for Saudi exports, and we have to select the correct option. Now let us go one by one. First statement. Recently, the India-Saudi Strategic Partnership Council was formed, which will be led by the leaderships of both the countries. Is that correct? Yes. The second statement, India is the largest trading partner of Saudi Arabia and the largest market for Saudi exports. Now that is incorrect. Because if we look at the largest trading partner for India, that is USA, followed by China. Recently, I think it was in February of 2020 that the USA surpassed China as India's largest trading partner. At third position comes UAE, and after that comes Saudi Arabia. So you have USA, China, UAE, and then Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is India's fourth largest trading partner, and in fact India is the fourth largest market for Saudi exports. So the first statement is correct, the second statement is incorrect, so 1A should be the right answer. 1A is the right answer, and India is the fourth largest trading partner of Saudi Arabia, also the fourth largest market for Saudi exports. And if you want to know more about India-Saudi bilateral relationship, then you can visit the Ministry of External Affairs website, and you can just follow this link and visit the link and know more about India and Saudi Arabia relationship. So this is with regards to the first question for today. The second question is saying, we consider the following statements with respect to India-Bangladesh bilateral relations. So again, we have a question from international relations, but this time it is the relations between India and Bangladesh. So consider the following statements with respect to India-Bangladesh bilateral relations. First statement is, both countries are members of the Asia-Pacific Trade Agreement, which is called as APTA. Similarly, SAARC Preferential Trade Agreement, also called as SAFTA, and the Agreement on South Asian Free Trade Area, which is called as SAFTA. So both India as well as Bangladesh, both the countries are members of the Asia-Pacific Trade Agreement or APTA, SAARC Preferential Trade Agreement or SAFTA, and the Agreement on South Asian Free Trade Area or SAFTA. The second statement is saying that Bangladesh is India's biggest trade partner in entire Asia. So again we get to see that the first statement is correct, but just like we discussed right now, Bangladesh is India's biggest trade partner in entire Asia. Is that correct? No, because India's largest trading partner in Asia is China. So the first statement is correct, the second statement is incorrect. 2A should be the right answer. So let us see 2A. Bangladesh is India's biggest trade partner in South Asia, but not in entire Asia. Okay, in South Asia, Bangladesh is India's largest trade partner, but in case of entire Asia, it is China. India's biggest trade partner in entire Asia is China. You can follow this particular link to know more about India and Bangladesh bilateral relations. Moving on to the third question for today. Consider the following statements with respect to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. Consider the following statements with respect to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries or OPEC. So OPEC is like a cartel consisting of many of the petroleum exporting countries and they are responsible for controlling the global price to a great extent of petroleum. So let us see the statements given for OPEC. First statement is all the crude oil exporting countries of the world are members of OPEC. All crude oil exporting countries of the world are members of OPEC. That is the first statement. The second statement is saying that Malaysia, Mexico and Oman are members of OPEC. Malaysia, Mexico and Oman are members of OPEC. So first thing is, whenever you have such kind of absolute statements, usually they are incorrect. Again, it is not a rule as such. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule. It has to be incorrect. But if you analyze the previous year prelims questions, then you will get to see that whenever you have such kind of an absolute statement, like all the countries or all the crude oil exporting countries, or if they have something like none, so all, none, such kind of statements are usually incorrect. Anyway, now let us analyze these statements one by one. First statement is saying all the crude oil exporting countries of the world are members of OPEC, but that is incorrect. That is not correct, because even within the members of OPEC, there's a lot of dispute, as a result of which from time to time members opt out of the organization. So first statement is incorrect. The second statement, Malaysia, Mexico and Oman are members of OPEC. The answer is no, because apart from OPEC also you have members, or you have countries which have large reserves of petroleum and they export petroleum without being a part of OPEC. So these countries, Malaysia, Mexico, Oman, they are not members of the OPEC. So the first statement is incorrect. Second statement is also incorrect. So 3D, neither one nor two should be the right answer. So answer is 3D, and we get to see a particular organization called as OPEC Plus. OPEC Plus basically refers to those countries which are non-OPEC countries but they export crude oil. So OPEC Plus countries are the non-OPEC countries which export crude oil or petroleum, and they include Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Brunei, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Mexico, Oman, Russia, South Sudan and Sudan. So you have these countries: Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Brunei, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Mexico, Oman, Russia, South Sudan and Sudan, which are not members of OPEC but still they export crude oil. So both the statements are incorrect for question number 3, and you can visit the link of OPEC YouTube on Wikipedia, and you can read more about OPEC regarding when it was formed, who are the members, all these things. Okay. So this is with regards to question number 3. Question number 4 is talking about the features of scientific social responsibility. So the question asks, which of the following can be said to be features of the scientific social responsibility? First statement, SSR, which stands for scientific social responsibility, is about developing linkages between science and society. So scientific social responsibility mainly intends to develop a linkage between science and society. That is the major objective. Second statement, scientific social responsibility is about building synergies amongst all the stakeholders in scientific knowledge community. And the third statement is saying the scientific social responsibility policy would involve 4 different categories of stakeholders: beneficiaries, implementers, assessors and supporters. And you have to find out the correct statement regarding scientific social responsibility. So scientific social responsibility was mentioned in a draft statement we get to see in the parliament, and this particular thing will be on the lines of the corporate social responsibility. Okay, so what are the features of this scientific social responsibility concept? The first statement, scientific social responsibility is about developing linkages between science and society. That is correct. Okay, so it mainly intends to build a linkage between science and the general society that we have. Second statement, scientific social responsibility is about building synergies amongst all the stakeholders in scientific knowledge community. That is also correct. The third statement, scientific social responsibility policy would involve 4 different categories of stakeholders like beneficiaries, implementers, assessors and supporters. So this third statement is actually also correct. All the 3 statements are correct. The right answer should be 4D, 1, 2 and 3. So the correct statement is D, and we get to see recently the Department of Science and Technology, which comes under the Ministry of Science and Technology. So they had released a draft of the proposed scientific social responsibility SSR policy, And India is going to be possibly the first country in the world to implement a scientific social responsibility policy, which will be on the lines of the corporate social responsibility. So the ministry involved for this scientific social responsibility is the Ministry of Science and Technology, and under that you have the Department of Science and Technology, which has released a draft of this proposed. So it is not yet implemented, but this is in the proposal stage. If you want to know more about scientific social responsibility, please visit this link of Down to Earth magazine, from where this particular question has been framed. Moving on to the last question for today, and this is with regards to e-cigarettes, which have been in the news. And let us see, there are two statements given for e-cigarettes. The first statement says that they are battery operated devices that produce aerosol by heating a solution containing nicotine, which is the addictive substance in combustible cigarettes. So even in case of normal cigarettes also you have nicotine, and in case of e-cigarettes there is a solution which contains nicotine, and this particular device is like a battery operated device which will produce aerosol. So basically it will produce something like a gas by heating the solution which contains nicotine, and that nicotine is the same nicotine which is also the addictive substance which is added in the normal cigarettes. So first statement is that. Second statement, they contain tobacco and therefore are regulated under the Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Act 2003. So this is the second statement with regards to e-cigarettes. Now let us see one by one. First statement. So if you have seen an e-cigarette, then it will be easy to answer. These are battery operated devices, that is correct, and they do produce aerosol by heating a solution containing nicotine, which is the addictive substance in combustible cigarettes. So that is why e-cigarettes, though a lot of people used to believe that it is harmless and it is a much healthier substitute for the usual cigarettes, that is not the case in reality, because over here also you get to see the use of nicotine is still there. So the first statement is correct, and you should always discourage others also from engaging in such kind of devices. They in fact are more harmful than the normal cigarettes. So first statement is correct. The second statement, they contain tobacco and therefore are regulated under the Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Act 2003. So the second statement is incorrect, because in case of e-cigarettes they do not contain tobacco, rather in place of tobacco they contain the solution which contains nicotine, and by heating that solution only the nicotine comes out in the form of an aerosol spray. So second statement is incorrect, the first statement is correct. So for question number 5, A should be the right answer. Let us see. A1 only should be the right answer, and we get to see e-cigarettes that do not contain tobacco and therefore are not regulated under the Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Act of 2003. And why it was in the news? It was in the news recently because we get to see the Union Cabinet, they had approved a promulgation of the prohibition of electronic cigarettes production, manufacture, import, export, transport, sale, distribution, storage and advertisement Ordinance 2019. Okay, so they had recently promulgated an ordinance on the prohibition of electronic cigarettes, and prohibition on what? Production of e-cigarettes, that is banned, manufacture, that is banned, import, export, transport, sale, distribution, storage or even advertisement, everything regarding e-cigarettes has been banned under this ordinance of 2019. If you want to know more about it, you can visit the PIB link mentioned below, where much more details are provided with regards to this particular ordinance brought about in the Union Cabinet. So with this we complete the 5 questions for today, and at the end I have kept a page for you so that you can take down the notes, the important details of this particular all the topics that we have learnt about today. So I hope you have liked the video, and please like, subscribe, comment and share the videos. Also do subscribe to Apti+ Academy for Civil Services YouTube channel to stay updated with such kind of informative videos. So we'll be back again with a new set of topics. Till then, stay safe, study hard and best of luck. Thank you so much.